blunt by saying he reached for his waistband or I thought he had a gun. So I just want to know, what would you, as president, what would you do to make sure that law enforcement would treat poor communities, black communities with respect?
Thank you for your comments. And so appreciate the question and the way in which you asked it, the acknowledgement that sheriff's deputies, police officers have very tough, very important jobs for which we give them our thanks. But the jobs are so important, the trust they hold so sacred, that when that is violated, there must be consequences, there must be accountability, and there must be justice. No person, regardless of who they are or the badge that they wear, is above or below the law in this country. The federal government has the opportunity, through the money that it spends with municipal and county police and sheriff's departments, to ensure that there is accountability and transparency for use of force and against whom force is used. You mentioned our civil rights mandates through the Department of Justice that President Obama perhaps did not use to their full effect and effort, and President Trump has completely turned his back on. When you add to that a war on drugs, now approaching its 50th year, that has become a war on people, some people more than others, and I talked about who is disproportionately locked up in this country right now. And it is disproportionately people of color, and it's not just a function of policing or our court system, although we need to address that. It's also our school system. At 4 or 5 years old, in a kindergarten classroom, a child of color is 5 times as likely to be disciplined or suspended or expelled as a white kid. That schoolhouse to jailhouse pipeline begins not in high school, but in kindergarten. You cannot be more vulnerable than you are as a 4 or 5-year-old. And we are doing that right now. I mentioned the maternal mortality crisis in this country, 3 times as bad for women of color. There is a disparity in infant mortality in the United States today, in the year 2019, that is greater between white America and black America in this year than it was in 1850, 15 years before the abolition of slavery. There is 10 times the wealth in white America today than there is in black America, although we could argue, and this would be true, that the ancestors of many people in this country who are people of color built the wealth of this country in the first place. There's no prospect of being able to enjoy it. And so whether it's healthcare, whether it's our educational system, whether it's our criminal justice system, this country fundamentally, structurally, has been set up to favor some against others. And until we address this holistically, stare squarely in the face the consequences of slavery and segregation and Jim Crow and the continuing suppression that we see everywhere in this country, we will not get to the underlying issue that you describe, unarmed black men being killed in this country far too often with impunity and without justice. So we must do it all, but we can start where you asked us to, and I will. Thank you. Appreciate it.